Joining us now to talk about BG, Super Bowl champion, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni. Coach Sirianni, so glad you joined us today. Thanks for giving us some of your time.
Wouldn't miss it. How y'all doing?
What's up, Coach? How's your off-season going?
How you doing?
How's the off-season been going for you?
It's been going good. Yeah, getting back into it with the players being back in. It's always exciting to get them back into it and just trying to find ways how we can get better.
That's what I'm talking about.
Coach, was there anything, now you won the friggin' Super Bowl, man. Was there anything you did for yourself that said, you know what, I deserve this? Like, did you go somewhere? Did you buy some little treat for yourself for winning the Super Bowl?
No, shoot, we had to get right back to work. I had a coordinator to replace Kellen Moore, and then a couple of guys that he took with him. So we got right back into it. So, shoot, when you're at this spot and you're just thinking about all the ways you can continue to get better, and because I know this, everybody we play this year is going to be. Hey, if we don't protect the ball against the Philadelphia Eagles, or if we don't tackle good against the Philadelphia Eagles, if we don't break tackles against the Philadelphia Eagles, it's going to be hard to beat them. So we're trying to find out ways that we can get better at tackling, and we can get better at taking the ball away, and we can get better at, making yards after catch and things like that. So, that's where our mindset's been from. We enjoyed the parade. All right, so then on that, then it's just that mindset to get back to work and try to continue to do good things.
Well, we saw you at the parade, Coach Sirianni, and your speech, honestly, I was like, this guy means business. I like this guy. He means business. In, out, thanked everyone. It was great. So great answer.
Thank you.
So, Coach, talking about Brandon Graham today, when you became head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, how important was having guys like BG in there as leaders and as veterans there to help you sort of set the culture that you wanted to set as head coach?
Yeah, I think you guys have heard me talk about that an awful lot. Like, I was different than a lot. Like, I was in a different scenario than a lot of other head coaches, right? I had four guys with Brandon and with Lane and with Jason and with Fletch. Of guys that, what first-year head coach has four guys on the offense and defensive line that have played 10-plus years? And so, obviously, those guys and Brandon were just so important to that, and they know how to win. They know the things that it takes. So, and then to have those guys, preaching what you're preaching, and, that's huge. That's huge for any coach, and just still so appreciative to them. On those things, and man, what a great core group of guys I was able to inherit. It's just awesome. And BG's, as we know, we're doing this. You guys are doing an awesome thing for him today, and the whole day devoted towards him. And couldn't say enough good things about him as we're about to here today.
I tell you, Coach, listening to you talk about the importance of having those guys as players. When you came in as coach and throughout your tenure, it had me reflecting back on your run here as head coach. And there's been up and downs. Your first year got off to a little bit of a slow start. Then, I thought you made an impassionate speech and plea about your team, talking about fertilizing and planting that soil. No, I'm not to poke fun at it. Being legit, thinking about it now. Because you had veterans like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, that I really came out in support of you and have always sort of had your back. And I think having those type of veterans sort of echo your message, I think helped us as fans and those of us on the outside sort of at least try to be patient and understanding with the type of coach that you were, because your players were clearly saying how much you meant to them. We just didn't understand it. And it's guys like Brandon that I think helped a lot of us come along to appreciating you as a head coach and what you mean to that locker room and to your players. So hearing you talk about Brandon and some of the other vets, I think it's big when a coach comes in and those veteran players are there to support him.
Yeah, no doubt. And that helps with not just on the outside who's not there every single day, right? but on the inside too, like on the inside of the building, right, with all the players, like, you know, and so it was dual important for both sides, you know, the outside world and the inside world to have the support of those guys. And, you know, again, just unbelievable people, unbelievable players, obviously. You know, there's so many times I wish people knew on the outside what good people we have too, you know, because, you know, we're in a business, you know, a results business, right? And I get that, but like, man, to go to, but you know, when you win and when you win big, it takes more than talent. It takes, and I say this about BG all the time, like, you don't play, like, you know this, like, you don't play in the NFL for 15 years on talent alone. That just doesn't happen, right? It takes all the special stuff. It takes the guys, you know, exactly the guys that we were looking for in the draft, the guys that love football, the guys that have high football IQ, the guys that are tough, the guys that are selfless, right? Those are the guys, God willing, reach their full potential. And that's exactly, you know, I've said it so many times. Like, I remember putting on tape, one of my favorite, you didn't ask me this, but I'm going to say it anyway, one of my favorite BG plays, maybe my favorite BG play. And I get it. I wasn't here in 17, so I can't say, you know, the Super Bowl sack, right? Yeah. But it was a heck of a play. But my favorite BG play was in Dallas, against Dallas at home in 2023. It's a 2-point conversion. We're up 23-28, and Dak breaks the pocket. And here comes BG, who he was inside on a stunt. And here comes BG flying, relentless effort on his pursuit, flying to stop Dak from scoring. Now, it appeared that he scored, and the referee gave him a touchdown, but he stepped out of bounds, if you guys remember, on like the 2-yard line because of this pursuit by Brandon. And long story short, right, they get the ball back. They're driving. They need a touchdown to win, and we end up keeping them out of the end zone where a point they would have been able to kick the field goal had they got that 2-point conversion. And so, and I, you know, that's my favorite play that Brandon, you know, I could have picked many sacks that he had. I could have picked I could have picked the Super Bowl sack that he had against Tom Brady. But the one I'm thinking of is this effort play that I just explained, and why. Well, one, it was a big time play, but for every guy to be able to, for me to be able to put on the tape and say and slow it down and be like, guys, you don't play 15 years in the NFL on talent alone. Watch the extra stuff that makes it happen, and for everybody to see that and for it to, you know, show up and end up helping us win a football game, like. I have no better, like, I'm a guy who likes to show a lot of different athletes, like, making plays and why they made the play and this and that. But I got Brandon sitting right there, you know, BG sitting right there in this film session watching this, and the guys are able to see that. Like, what a great thing to be able to teach the entire team on, hey, man, this is how it's supposed to be done, and it helped us win a game. And shoot, what a great example to all the guys and coaches and players in that room.
Coach, we've talked about BG, and so many people brought up different plays and different moments that they think.
Has anyone brought up that one yet?
No, nobody's brought that one up.
Oh, good. That was original.
Yep. That was original. And
how many guys brought up the Super Bowl sack?
Well, yeah, just about everybody.
Yeah.
That's certainly one. But I wanted to get your thoughts on coaching BG and being around him behind the scenes, right? Not on game day. I'm talking about throughout the week, practice every day. Now, I played with a guy who I work with now, Hugh Douglas. Like, Hugh was our energy rabbit at practice. He brought all the excitement. He was the guy who had the energy every day, said stuff to keep people laughing.
This is what you did, Coach.
We're in a bar right now.
Yeah.
But I know BG off the field also had to be great for you to coach and have as a player of yours. How much are you going to miss having him out at practice every day to keep things lively and keep things going?
Yeah, if you're, I've said this, right? I've said if every company, every business, everybody needs a BG because. Man, one of my favorite things to kind of explain to you guys how ready he was every single day is anytime we had pads on, right? Anytime we had pads on, if it was a Wednesday in the season or training camp, he's at that team meeting first thing in the morning with his pads on his lowers. He had his thigh pads in, he had his hip pads in, he had his knee pads in, he had his butt pad in. He had it all. I'm like, man, this guy's ready. I love this about him. He is ready to go. Like, don't be around him and not be ready to go. He's going to be ready to go. And, man, and that's just a quick story about that. But, like, he's always, you can't have a bad day around him. Like, he's always smiling. He's always, and on top of that, he's always bringing people up. He has a great sense about him of, hey, this guy's going through a hard time. Hey, this guy's, going through a struggle, and he's talked about it, right? I've been through that struggle. Let me help you, and let me tell you what helped me when I went through that. Like, what an example. What an example that he was for the entire building in that aspect because, shoot, we all come in and have a bad day here and there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Hey, even football players, you guys are playing football and coaching football for a living. Yeah, I know it's awesome. But there's times that you come in, you're having a bad day, and man, it's just as if, he never did, and I know he did, but he was able to, have that smile on his face, and what a humble leader to be able to lead guys when they're going, and that's what I always will remember is him going, guys going through a hard time and him really trying to reach out and help those guys. But the main thing, like when you asked that question, was him coming in the morning with his pads on, and I love that. I love that about BG. He had a long time before practice would start too, and he still had them damn pads on.
I feel like you might wear them to the event tonight. You never know. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni with us. Coach, so BG comes back for what this past year, for what we all felt like would be his final year, and I don't think any of us, at least from our perspective, looked ahead and said, BG's going to play half the snaps. And for, the first half of the year may even be the best edge on the team. Were you surprised, I guess, at how good he was this year until he had that injury?
No, because, I know who he is, and I know the work that he puts into it. And, no, nothing that he does on the field ever surprises me because, like you said, like I get to see him every day. Like you guys get to see him on Sunday and a little bit of practice, right, when the media's out there. But I get to see him on a daily basis all day, right? And so when you got a guy that's putting in the work that he does and is the type of leader he is, and, that doesn't surprise you because, what you do in private's going to be seen in public, good or bad. And he always brought it every single day. And, man, Coach Walsh always says you got to earn the right to pass rush, right? What does that mean? That means that you got to stop the stinking run on first and second down to earn the right to pass rush. And man, does that guy earn the right to pass rush? Like the way he played, and that's what I think really sticks out to me. The way that he played this year is, man, how awesome he was against the run, right? And and pushing a tight end back. That matchup never worked out for the guys when they put the tight end one-on-one with BG and he walks him back, or the guard pulls, and he crushes the edge. Like that man earned the right to pass rush every single game, and that's what from this season, really stood out to me is the way he, did that, and Nolan Smith, right, obviously had a great year. But when Nolan's seeing, hey, this is how this guy plays the edge every single time, and you see Nolan do it, like, what a great example for us as coaches to be, hey, watch how BG sets the edge, and then boom, hey, now look at it. Now look how Nolan's setting the edge. Like, I mean, and so that's what really sticks out to me with how he played this year 15. And shoot, man, when he, sometimes, obviously injuries happen in this game, and it takes a lot. We're so close to these players, right? We focus so much on team, and so when a guy like BG it gets hurt, and it takes everything for you as a coach, like in that LA Ram game, to not break down for him, right? And I ended up running in the locker room just to, be there for him for a second. But so I know that was tough that he had to go through that. But man, he got himself back. That's the type of guy he is.
Well, he tears the triceps, and everybody has Google, and I look up the the recovery time, and there's just in my head, there's no way, Brandon Graham is ever coming back. Did it ever sneak into your head that there would be a point at which Brandon Graham would return this season?
I knew if somebody could do it, it'd be him. That's what I will say. We try to take everything. I know this sounds cliche, but we try to take everything game by game, day by day. But when they said, and I didn't really think about it until a couple weeks into it, when they said, if we make it this far, you got a chance. And I know BG told me about that a couple times after that, a couple hundred times after that. And if anybody had a chance to do it, it was going to be him. And what an unbelievable story. And then, that's the other thing. You talk to guys about being able to play through, bumps and bruises that happen through, you don't, as a player, right, you're never going to feel as good as you feel day one of training camp. And to be able to play through the bumps and bruises of things and being able to put that tape on and go, hey, this guy had this, and now look, he's playing this many weeks later, this many months later. He said he gets you so many examples to be able to show the team, and I'm hoping all the coaches over the entire country are showing Brandon Graham clips, because man, what great example he can be to all the entire youth playing football.
Well, Coach, I know it's been a short off season for you. You've been back at work. Seems like you guys are focused and getting ready for the 2025 season. I know you guys want to move past last year, but for us out here, we're still enjoying it, being two-time champions, and we haven't had the chance to congratulate you personally from this show and thank you for the job you did all year long as head coach of this football team and bringing the second Super Bowl title here, man. So congratulations, well-deserved. You've had a wonderful career so far, man. We're looking forward to a bunch of great more years with you as head coach.
I appreciate that, guys. I do. And I know you're not asking me, but I'm going to give him my last BG. I came in with some BG stories.
Oh, yeah, come on with it.
I'm
yeah, for sure.
I'm going to give them. The other thing about him, is he always found a way to celebrate other people's success with him, right? Whether that's, Sweaty getting a sack and him wiping off his brow like Sweaty does. You put on a Sweaty sack, I guarantee you BG's doing that, as he's talking trash to the other team. So I guarantee that's happening when Sweaty, whether it's Nolan and his celebration, he was just always there for his guys to celebrate their greatness. And what gives me goosebumps to even saying this right now, and I got goosebumps because I love this stuff, is that anytime he would get a sack, you saw everybody also celebrating his greatness and do his BG dance, which I'm doing. I know you can't see, but I'm doing it right now in my office as I sit here and think about it. But we could go on and on all day about BG, but that I always love that about him and the way he brings people together.
Well, Coach, you know what's even better than having 2 Super Bowls? 3. So we're looking forward to next season, man.
All right, guys. Hey,
thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach.